Joining us now is the great Bill O'Reilly. Of course, he is host of Common Sense with Bill O'Reilly every weeknight on WABC 9 to 10 p.m. He's got so many mega best-selling books. His latest one is Killing the Witches. He has over 19 million books sold, and we're thrilled to have him here on the show. Bill, your reaction, things are getting really heated at these protests and counter-protests. Where do you see this going? Because New York City is busting at the seams.
Well, first of all, Rita, thanks for mentioning Witches. It'll be out September 26th.
We can't wait, by the way, and you got to come on my show and come on here, too, also, both shows about it.
Whatever you guys want. But let me give you a few short takes about the migrants, and then you can ask me anything you want, and I'll fill a little bit more detail. So this illegal immigration problem is the responsibility of simply one man, and that's Joe Biden. So the day that he took office, he signed an executive order which stopped Donald Trump's Remain in Mexico program and basically opened the border to anyone who wanted asylum for any reason, because Biden knew there weren't enough judges to adjudicate all of these claims. He knew that the cartels were going to instruct the migrants to claim asylum, and he knew that by this executive order, they would all be able to do that in the United States. So Biden is solely responsible for 7 million people coming into this country unsupervised and without resources. That's number one. Biden himself tomorrow could stop this by writing another executive order that says the United States is going to suspend all asylum claims for 6 months. Nothing will be heard. That means that no one can step foot in this country unless they sneak across the border, unless they get through the labyrinth of Border Patrol and what we have down there to prevent them from coming illegally. Biden will not do that, but he could do it. One person could stop this. All right? Now, if he signed that executive order, it would be challenged in federal court, but he would could delay it for more than 6 months.
Bill O'Reilly, I just had Ed Romaine on, who's running for Suffolk County executive, and he is saying, and I live there, and I joked around. I sleep with one gun underneath my pillow. If they let those people in West Hampton Airport, I'll need 2 guns.
Well, let me get to that, John. Just a couple of more things.
Go ahead.
If this migrant thing had blown up this time last year, Lee Zeldin would be governor. Okay? Because New Yorkers across the board now are furious. Only the far-left zealots are supporting this insane policy. So Zeldin would have beaten Hochul. Hochul knows she's in political trouble, which is why she's turned on Eric Adams and says that she isn't going to force anyone, any county, to take migrants. The counties themselves can sue New York City if Adams puts anybody on a bus and sends them to Suffolk, Nassau, or any other county in the state, thereby tying up New York City and perhaps winning the lawsuit. Damages are the county has to spend X amount of money to deal with these migrants. So what you're seeing now is desperation on the part of the Democratic Party, and every New Yorker should understand this. All Cuomo should be asked in his breakfast on Saturday with you, and I may show up to that, but I'd frighten everybody, so I'll talk to you about it, John, is what's your solution to this problem specifically, Governor? And then, of course, the no bail thing should be rammed down his throat. But you have a situation now where I'd say 75% of New Yorkers of all parties know this is insane because we cannot, the state of New York, support these people. Final point. By allowing these migrants into the public schools, which Letitia James will order to happen, okay, you're putting children who are unprepared for the academics into classes where many of these children don't even speak the language. So you're going to create chaos within the public schools across the board here. And who's going to suffer? The children in the public schools.
The American children will suffer.
Yeah, and school just starts.
And the kids are already suffering. The kids are now number 56 in the world in education.
Yeah, but the migrant kids will suffer too, because there'll be the inevitable backlash against them by some of the other students. The New York City Education Department is unprepared for any of this, as is Mayor Adams. So our leadership in this state is desperately unprepared, and you never hear them admit the problem emanates from their own party, the Democratic Party. That is never uttered. And listen, I mean, I said this last year at this time, if you vote for Kathy Hochul to be governor, expect everything in the state to get worse, and that's exactly what happened.
Well, I think when it comes up, and we'll make a commercial with you, and the commercial you'll say, you'll point your finger out and say, whom do you trust to keep you safe?
Well, right now we don't have anybody keeping us safe.
That's it.
Now,
you're right.
A word about the protests themselves. So Curtis Lewa is doing the state a service by being a vocal leader against this. The mistake Curtis makes is he demonizes the migrants, and he should not do that. As far as the protesters and counter-protesters, there are very few counter-protesters, and they're mostly anarchists. They're people who just look for trouble. But you've got to feel sorry for the police and restrain yourself, because every time a police officer has to get in the middle of a melee, that officer risks injury. So I'm all for public protests, but don't take it to the level where a police officer has to intervene.
Agreed.
I think that's responsible policy.
What are you going to be talking about tonight on your show between 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock?
All right, so there is an unreported story that happened on last Friday, and the media totally ignored it, where Joe Biden told a reporter he has not been interviewed, nor anyone has requested that he be interviewed by the special counsel looking into the documents. 8.5 months that special counsel has been on the case, and according to the president himself, has not even asked to speak with him. You don't think the fix is in on the Justice Department? You don't think our federal government is corrupt? Listen to me at 9 o'clock tonight on WABC.
Wow. Robert
Attorney General Garland, they wanted to make him Supreme Court Justice.
It's amazing.
Isn't that unbelievable?
It's amazing.
I don't like Mitch McConnell at all, but that's the one thing McConnell did that I respect in the last few years. He blocked Garland.
Yeah. And by the way, Bill, you probably saw also that in D.C. today, just a little bit ago, the judge there ruled for it to start. This is the Trump 2020 election case, the federal case there. Start the day before Super Tuesday. Real quick. You can't make it up, Bill.
Thank you, Bill O'Reilly. And dial Bill O'Reilly on WABC 770 on your dial, or WABCradio.com worldwide, or BillO'Reilly.com. Thank you, Bill.
Thanks, Bill.
Hey, guys.